Hey guys, Coffee Talk Supplemental. Wednesday afternoon, I got my coffee after work and I'm looking at the new update. I just got done downloading. I spent about 15 minutes digging around it and I realized, you know what? Let's make like an unpacking video where I try to figure this thing out real time on a video, because there were some things I found right away that were kind of goofy. So let's see what we can learn about update 9.21. So here's the website. We've got the Badger, so apparently games are full of Badgers. Looks like the Churchill gun carrier AT-15 and Tortoise got some updates to their guns to 32-pounder. The Badger, like it said, replaced the FV, so if you had the FV unlocked, the 183, the TD version, it's now a special vehicle at Tier 10. Good news is it can train any TD crew. Bad news is it doesn't make any extra credits. Good news is you got to keep it, and you have a Badger. We'll talk about that when we get there. Things like the crew switched over to the FV and the camo, which is interesting. We'll get to that. A new French heavy line. Looks like French heavy reinforcement. At the M445, it splits to a new line of French heavy tanks, which aren't autoloaders. So that will be interesting. We'll take a look at those. The Tough Frenchman. That's pretty funny. New Grand Battles map. So there's a brand new map. That's cool. We'll do a video on that when we get to it. That won't be involved in this, but just know that that's there. And the customization mechanics, which are interesting. And it's got a quick blurb on the Holiday Ops 2018, which should be on the 15th. Yep, that's what it says, the 15th. So let's go ahead and drop this down. And we will dive into what we got. Let's start with the Badger first. You can see here is the Badger in all its glory. Now, something to realize right off the bat, if you had the FV 183, you'll notice that it had 5 crew. Guess what the Badger has? It has 6 crew. So if you had a pretty good FV crew, like I had, not amazing, but pretty good, 300% skills and 1 at 38, and you were rolling some good brothers in arms, guess what? Your brothers in arms is broken because you now have a radio operator. Good job, Wargaming. Thanks for that. No sense giving me a radio operator that at least had 1 skill so that people who had brothers in arms could at least keep it going. That's crappy. But there you have it. So now I have a new crew management problem brought on by Wargaming and their ridiculousness. I could bring somebody else over from another tank. All right, so there is the Badger. There is the problem with the crew right there. This crew, I've already done it. That was part of what I got to before I started the video. This crew came with all of its skills reset. So at least as far as that goes, that was nice, and I was able to redo all the skills. This is more or less what I had anyway. And this guy, the new guy, was in the game. He was in your barracks, and he was sitting at 100% on his qual as a radio guy, but of course he has 0% on his first skill. So I'm picking brothers in arms, and eventually he'll be trained up if I play the Badger that much, which would be unusual since I don't play tier 10 TDs that much. That's kind of what I used playing the TDs up to get to the 10-4, was to get a good crew. So there is that little tidbit. Your equipment and stuff was stripped off of your FV if you had it. Your camo was stripped off, and it was put over onto the Badger. Badger! We don't need no sticking badges. All right, there it is. So let's go to the exterior stuff. A couple interesting things going on here. So dive down here. We'll get to the paints in a moment. Let's quickly talk about emblems, because some of these you can sell back. Now, not all of them. You'll note that in the past, all the emblems that you had when it was sorted by all of the emblems, and there's the sort button right there. I've got all groups selected. We'll get it. We'll get into the sort in just a minute. Used to be, over on the left here, was all of your emblems that were paid for, or gifts, or things that were ready to be put on. But guess what? Now they're all the way over on this side. I don't know why, but I don't think it's all of them, because I have a bunch of national flags that are now buried along here in the national flag area. Let me see if I can find them. Yep, I got a couple of these guys buried over here. You can see I own it in the garage. That little garage symbol right there lets me know I have 6 there. So he's buried over here. Where's the Mexican flags? There they are. I have 100. I have 138 Mexican flags. You know, there's a lot of countries in South America, but I have 138. Okay, Central America for Mexico, got it. But I have 138 Mexican flags. And where's Brazil? Brazil, represent. Where are you guys? Am I gonna? I have 100 of those wherever. Oh, I've got 210 Canadian flags. 210 Canadian flags. Did I mention 210? So that's 300 and some change flags of countries I don't belong to. Let's see, where is it? Come on, Brazil. There he is. Good job, Brazil, bringing in another 100. 400 flags from 3 countries. Oh, I have 24 British flags. Those were free as well. And 72 American. So somewhere, somebody's irritated they have 72 American flags. Like I'm irritated I have 400 odd other. So I get that. Still, the point of all that is I got some German flags. I got some Chinese flags. Man, I got a lot of flags. All right, so the point of all that is you can sell them. So let's find. We're going to sell Canadian flag. I am loath to sell my Canadian flags, but I'm going to do it just for science. Just for science. We're going to click sell, and then you come up here and you click sell, and you get 10,000 more credits. And then you only have to do that 209 more times. Because there is no sell more than one function. Alright, so just bear with me. We're going to sell these 400 flags. No, I'm not going to sell all 400 flags. Not while you're watching anyway. So there you have it. That's a thing. It is a thing. And then you might think, alright, so the sorting's a bit of a pain. Oh, also about selling. See this chieftain hat? Good guy, chieftain. Love you, chieftain. I don't want your hats, man. Me, Ed, good guy. Love you, dude. I have exactly 51 of each one of those. Do you believe in numerology? All right, so I go right click and I go, wait a minute. What? What? Why can't I sell the meathead flag? Emblem. I can't. Ghost. Ghost, you've got, no, Ghost cannot go. 100, nope, can't do that. How about these things? Nope, nope. Now I wouldn't sell these because these are actually the Project Valor things, and some of those were gifts. Thank you very much. A lot of those are on my tanks, actually. And this dumb thing. I don't want to... I got 102 pumpkins. Mad, angry pumpkins. I have 24, so I don't even know this band. I can't sell their emblem. Oh my goodness. All right. So that is what I found out about that. Now, if you're interested in the sorting function over here, if anybody out there actually figures out how this works, that'd be fantastic. All right, so all groups, all animals. All right, there's all the animals. Historical animals. Doesn't seem to change anything. Purchased, I have, oh, I didn't purchase those. I have never in my life purchased those. But I can sell them. I don't know. Purchased, and I've not... I didn't purchase those. Those were prizes at some point. There was a thing where they were prizes, so they're not special. These were considered purchased. This must be because they can be purchased, so they're under the purchased, even though they were given to me for free, I think is what's going on there. So I can still sell those. Be careful here if you're going really fast and you're attempting to sell these things. If you get into that click festival, you got Click-a-Palooza going on. Be careful, you may actually click purchase, and that would be a bummer. Okay, so that's going on with that. I don't really get it. And there's a lot of ways to sort those flags. Historical doesn't change it. Purchased. Oh, so there you go. I think my theory that these are under the purchased items, even though they were free, is because they can be purchased. So that must be what's going on there. So that is all of the emblems from what I can tell. All right, let's get into this because it's nutty. All right, nutty. First things first, there's a preset style looking into the web page, preset style means there's a style that has everything involved. So for 750, I can click on that, and I get a little. Do I have a little Black Widow? Yes, I get a Black Widow because it's called Black Widow, the permanent style. There's a little Black Widow emblem there, and it has actually a pretty cool paint. You can look at your paint winter. Can I click over to it? I can't actually click over to it. It shows you what it looks like, even though on all the other ones I can actually click between them and let's see what they look. Oh no, here it is. There we go. So there's a winter and there's the desert. So not bad, pretty cool looking camo, but it's a permanent style. It is a preset style permanent camo for 750 gold. So for 750 gold you get the whole package, but you can't customize it at all. That is for tier 8, 9, and 10 vehicles. From what I can tell, because I come here and I go, all right, I'd like to put that permanent style on a tier 7, and that's in my AT15A, which is a premium. Let's see if I can get a preset style, and no, so there's no preset. But if I go back to tier 8, which is a charioteer, and I go exterior, and I say preset, oh wait a minute, unable, 8 is right out. Is this an 8? It is an 8. Why can I not, what the? Now I'm confused. What about the AT? Does the AT have a preset style? No. You get nothing. You'll get nothing. How about the tier 9 tortoise? It does not have a preset style. Well, I'm going to be honest. That one's a stumper. What about the Lorraine? The Lorraine has a preset style. He's an 8. What about the CDC have a preset? He does. He gets Black Widow. Looks like everybody gets Black Widow. What happened over here? That's crazy talk. Charioteer is an 8. Exterior. Let's see. Preset style. No. You can. Well, the website seems to indicate that it's tier 8 and above. Let's go to a completely different group of tanks. And we will check the 44-100. And does he get Black Widow? He sure does. He gets Black Widow. Why do several random UK TDs not get Black Widow? How about a tier 7 German? No, no preset style for him. And a 9? No. The E75 gets no preset. Okay, clearly I'm missing something here, or something's really goobered up. That is something I had not found before I started unpacking this for everybody. Wow. Well, get back to me. If you figure it out, tell me down in the comments. That's odd. All right, so let's get back to what we were doing before we got sidetracked by insanity. The other way to do it is to just go to your camouflage, and this looks more like what you're used to. All right, so you'll camouflage up your tank. You can go, hey, I'll change that, and I'll change the gun. And if you had a turret, you change the turret, and it starts adding up what you're gonna owe over here. And you can do things like make it. Let's do it on this right here because it'll show you. Watch what happens to the whole camo when you go small. See how it gets smaller. The paint blobs are smaller, I guess. Medium and large. All it's doing is spreading it out. It's just spreading the pixels out, filling it in. So they have that. There's also on some that I noticed you could actually change the color a little bit. Maybe that was on the preset style. No, that wasn't on the preset style. Custom style. There was a version that you could, maybe it was this one. No, that's right out. You can't do it there. Now why is the thing gone away all of a sudden? Now I can't do anything. Oh, Wargaming, you are so... Ah, there it is. Why did it want to do it on the gun only? Alright, so medium. Large, yep. There was another one I saw that you could change the colors slightly, so I'm not sure where that is. I found that earlier. Anyway, you can put it on the different things right there, so that's interesting. Oh, wait, that's got one in the garage. What is it doing? Remove. All right, let's get out of this. If you get confused like I am, just go back to the garage, click confirm that you do not want to buy that stuff, and then go back and you can start messing around with it. It's easier to show, I think, if I go to a tank that is not currently painted. Here we go. So let's do it with a not currently painted tank. Over to camouflage. Okay. So I've got 3 of these in the garage. You can see the bottom left. So I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And it looks like, then, unable to apply large spots summer gift camouflage. It is not in the inventory. Okay. That's because I clicked rent. Oh, okay, I got you. I'm sorry. Settle down, Wargaming World of Tanks. It looks like I've now applied that because it was in there. This is the large spots gift. Okay, so that's the gift camouflage, I believe, which was given because of some screw up in the past. So this one actually adds plus 4%, so you're getting some camo out of that. So I could add that to that tank, and that's how that goes down. Stop it! Unable to do it. Got it. But what's interesting is I don't see the ability to change the size of it again. So I can apply an exit right there. I'm not going to do it. Let's get out of this again. I'll come back into it on the exterior and take a look at what else you can do. So that was the camouflage side. You can see again, I've got the 3 in the garage, so I can apply that to this tank. But we've also got this paint thing going on, which is really goofy. 20 gold per paint can, and you've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4 spots you can paint. The barrel, the turret, the hull, and the tracks down here. So let's just, for example, blue. We'll just make everything blue. You just click on it, it turns it all blue, it adds it up, and it says, brother, you owe me 80 gold for that. And that's for summer. And then you go to winter, and you say, in winter, I'm going to be this, whatever this color is. What is this? Puce? Brown. Blackish purple. Sort of black? I guess it's black. What does it say it is? Kind of national map any national paints suitable for vehicles. It doesn't say even what color it's intended to be. It's black. Looks black to me. And look at the bottom here. That's another thing I saw. Suitable for vehicles tier 8 or tier 10. But tier 9 is right out. You can't. So can I not paint tier 10s? Hold on. I mean tier 9s? Let's see. This is a... Tortoise is a tier 9. Tortoise wants to get paint. How come I can't paint a tortoise? Why can I not paint a tortoise? Do I have to take the paint off? How do I take the paint off? Ooh, that's how you do it. Okay, so paint's off for summer. Paint's off for summer. I can't... I'm not allowed to paint a tier 9? Or is it just the tortoise again with some kind of bug? Let's go... Okay, let's... What is going on? Alright, the ST1's a 9. Does the ST1 get paint? No. The ST1, you may not paint the ST1. You are not allowed to paint the ST1. I don't want that on there. Get off there. And remove all this. Alright, there we go. So let's paint... No, sorry, you cannot paint tier 9s. You can only paint... Alright, maybe, can you paint tier 8s like it says, or is that... You can paint tier 8s, but you cannot paint tier 9s. You are not allowed... Tier 9s are right out. Clearly, tier 9s should not be painted. Those cannot be painted at all. That's... I don't get that. What about 7s? Tier 7s. Here's a tier 7. How about a tier 7? Can we paint it? No. You may not paint tier 7s. But 8s and 10s. I don't know where to start with that. Anyway. Wow. Okay, custom style paints. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Custom style paints. Go to a tier 7. Let's do a tier 7 that's not one of these guys. The 45. And it doesn't have any paint on it, so that'll be perfect. Let's look at it. Oh, I haven't upgraded it. Look at that awesome gun. I go here and I say custom style. No paints. That's right out. So he can't be painted. even though he's an 8. Is this confusing enough for everybody? I have to admit, I am completely confused. No, I'm clicking the wrong things now. No paint for you. That has no paint. That has no paint. AT-15? Nope. Badger? Yes. This says suitable for British 8 or Tier 10. What on earth? Hold on. Let me pause this. I'll be right back. Well, I found the answer. And it's one of the reasons that I did this like an unpacking video where I'm just going through it. Because this is the kind of frustrating ridiculousness that constantly goes on with this game and with this company. Buried down at the very bottom of their explanation on their webpage. Now, granted, it's on there, all right? And it is in this little, hey, this is an important note kind of thing. But buried down here, it says... Somebody explained to me why this would even be, but paints, camouflage, palettes, and effects are currently available only for Tier 10 and premium Tier 8 vehicles. That's what was catching me, right? Because I was randomly going to 8s, and I was actually clicking on some premiums, and I was seeing, hey, I could do it, and then I was clicking on some regular 8s, and I couldn't do it. 9s are right out, like I was saying, and all the 10s could do it. Well, that explains it, but come on! Why is it even like that to begin with? Oh man, I mean, the assumption has to be that they just didn't get to it in order to get all the stuff done in time for this release. So it's kind of a partial release, and okay, got it. But it seems like maybe something you might want to have completely done before you put out, especially with the whole selling stuff and buying things and moving camos around. If they find some big bug that's going on with what they have now and people get it all set up, what the hell are they going to do? Well, they're muddled through it like usual. Okay, so that was crazy. So now we know it is, in fact, available to Tier 8 premiums and to Tier 10s. Well, here's a question. I have a Tier 8 premium I'm kind of curious about it, but I think I know the answer because the German Tier 8 Black Dog has the Grand Finals paint scheme. Yep, and it's still unable to be changed. That's one that I think a lot of people would love to change. All right. So that is that. What else do we have? We have, going back to the British, stiff upper lip and all. All right, here we go. Back into what we've got. So we figured that out, and here's the painting idea. Now it's got national paints, base paints, and primers, and non-historical. And what exactly the difference between a base paint primer is and the national paint, other than maybe brightness or slightly different shades, I failed to see the real difference in it. That's a non-historical. No, that's a base paint. So that red is a base paint and primer. Then non-historical gets into the purple silliness. Now, when I looked at the description of it on the web page, it seemed to indicate that gun mantlets and stuff was a separate thing you could paint. But I don't see that on at least this tank. It's all the same thing. So that's odd. Maybe on other tanks. Let's find a tank that might have a mantlet. Maybe the FV. Does it act? Yes. So, okay. So there are certain tanks that actually have a separate mantlet that can be painted. What confused me is it said there were 5 elements that could be painted, but that's not true for all the tanks apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, provided it's got a turret and a distinguishable mantlet of some kind. I don't know why the FV did not have that huge mantlet on the front. Wasn't something that could be painted separately, but in the case of this thing, it can. And notice that when I put that under the camouflage, it actually gives me kind of a funny accent there. I can actually turn these blue and see how it's turned these various things a little bit blue. So that's kind of a goofy thing you can do. It's got blue around the edges where the weathering is. See how now it's all kind of blue, and I've piled this on top of the camouflage that already existed on the tank. Now I don't know if that's going to come through in game or not. It's actually kind of cool looking, but still a little bit goofy. That's one thing I found out, so I don't know if that really will work in game or what it is. Other things to think about, there is a setting in the settings section where you can choose to not see the non-historical, paint jobs, so you won't see that, but you'll see all this other goofy color stuff over here. So if somebody comes out and just paints their, let's go back to the FV since it doesn't have, or the FVTD since it doesn't have paint. So if somebody dives in there and goes, all right, I'm gonna paint it, what's the most annoying color I can come up with here? That will certainly be shown. So I'm gonna have a red hole, and I'm gonna have a green turret, and I'm gonna have a blue barrel, and I'm gonna have a whatever this color is. Oh, can't do the mantlet on that one. But anyway, so that tank would show up. You'd see that guy running around in kind of goofy colors. Now what you wouldn't see is this tank. That's all bright green. There you go. This guy you wouldn't see. But frankly, I don't really know what the difference is between that one and the one I just showed you. Yeah, it's kind of bright pink, but it's actually not. It's not exactly neon. You know. Oh, this is pretty annoying. This is kind of. So you can get something like this going on right here. You got this and this. No, actually, let's make this stand out a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And we'll go with, you know, green down here. What? Why is that not green? Go with green down. There we go. So that's kind of super annoying to see running around the battlefield, at least for me. But everyone's got their own ideas about what's annoying. So that is what goes on there. That's the paint side. You can see it adds it up, and then you hit purchase. Remember, you've got to do it for each one of these. So that's 80 coins. Let's see what it takes just to... I don't know, what is this doing? It gets a little weird like that. I was able to click on it and just click on all the items a second ago, but now looks like I've got to do it a different... What the heck? I've outsmarted it. Alright. And so now we're up to 240 coins. That one, and that one. 240 coins, which is actually cheaper than regular camouflage, and it appears that I have selected it for each summer, winter, and desert. What I don't know here, and I don't think you're getting a camouflage bonus out of that paint, or at least I can't tell. There is some verbiage about if you put camouflage on the hull, you'll get some bonus. There it is. Bonus to concealment when applying the camouflage to a vehicle's hull. Alright, so it looks like if you just paint the hull, you don't get a bonus, which is weird. But this guy apparently gets a bonus. He's fine. He's got a big yellow turret and green barrel. At least that's sort of like greenery. But if you put the camo there, by golly, you get a bonus. And that's knocked me up to 290. So if I want the winter bonus, I got to do that. And if I want the desert bonus, I got to do that. And I'm still at 290. Which I don't quite understand why. I would still be at 290. That would be a lot more expensive for putting just camo on everything. Have I tricked the system here? What is going on here? Still at 290. Is that how cheap it is? Look at that. Oh, wait a minute. Something just made it 390. I must not have had camo on one of these things earlier. So, but 390 still seems cheaper for total camo. Oh, did I select some of the ones I already had? No, I don't think so. Well, there you go. So the pricing's a little bit odd. I'm not sure if that's a bug or a feature in there. Anyway, play around with it. That's how you do it. I'll figure out more as we go. Preset style, that's what we talked about earlier. Emblems, we knocked that out. That's where they go. You can see the little plus right there. So if I say, hey, I'm going to put a rhinoceros right there, there it is, the rhinoceros. And I'll put that right there, and there it is. And then that really bright thing gets in your way so you can't even see what the hell it is you're trying to do. Or how it looks. So that's cool. Just get off there, dude. Go away. I can't see the emblem. You can put an inscription on there. Oh, this was good. All right, so inscriptions. This. All right, all groups, right? So historical, those are historical, and then historical items doesn't change. But purchased, there's no historical purchased. But special, historical special, no, but purchased is the same as special, so that doesn't do anything. But purchased historical, there aren't any. I don't understand. I have no idea what's going on here. This sorting mechanism makes absolutely no sense. There's a drop down for sorting groups, and then there's show only, which may or may not matter when you click on them. You have to play around with that. The inscriptions, let's see, where does agility go? There it is. It's got the little plus right there, and you say, let's add agility. Yep, there it is. And you got a big bright thing right in the way, so you can't really see how it's going to look on the tank, because that big bright thing is there. So this is just really kind of goofy all around. And effects. Now, this is the last thing we'll talk about before we go with the Coffee Talk Supplemental. We look at this. Oh, actually, we'll look at the French as well before we get away. We have worn paint. Somehow, oh, we're up to 540 because we put agility and the rhinoceros and stuff on there. So here's the paint, right? And we're going to go worn paint, and it goes. I don't really notice any difference. Maybe it's a little worn. Then worn paint 2. Maybe. That's 300. 300 gold for that effect. And that's only for summer. If you want it on winter, that's another 300. And if you want it for desert, that's another 300. 1,440 total. And I haven't even put, I could put another inscription on it. So I think their pricing system and whatnot needs a little bit of work, clearly. This worn stuff, good lord. I mean, seriously, Wargaming, you think that that effect right there, the difference between those is adding 300 value, 900 gold for 3 of those effects? I mean, are you kidding me? That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, that's what I have first blush on that. Let's jump into the tech tree and take a look at the French, the new line. And there she is, the AMX 65T, the AMX M451, and the AMX M454. Looks like I can unlock this, but that's going to use all free experience. So it's time to break out the M445 and start working my way up. I'll go get 62,500 XP, unlock that, and then I'll be unlocking all of the modules with my free XP. Looks like about 188, so that's probably enough to 15, 6, 8. That's maybe 100, 116. So that's enough to definitely bring up the AMX 65T to elite status, or at least the not elite status, but at maximum modules. And then I'll unlock the M451, and then it'll be a bit of a grind from there. But that'll give me something to do, something to grind on. That'll be pretty cool. And that is what we've got for there. And I think that's pretty much all the stuff that's new. We talked a little bit about the British TDs. Oh, the new guns on the AT-15. So the AT-15 apparently has a bigger gun now. It's not the Pew Pew necessarily. Or is it just a different? Let's see what we got here. We have a 20-pounder. There's a 32-pounder. So still the 20-pounder is the top tier gun. It's doing 230 average damage, 226 pen. And the 32-pounder is doing 280, so 50 more damage, and 220 pen, so slightly less penetration, and quite a longer reload. So at 9.5 to 14 rate of fire to 6.32 to 10.7 rate of fire with the 32-pounder. Let's see how that looks on the tech tree. We go to, we'll find it here, tech tree. Go to the Brits. And look at how you go through that, because it goes to the, looks like it's unlocked it for me automatically. So interesting, the 20, and I don't know if this is always true, but the 20-pounder is off of its own world over here. You don't even have to go to it. You can go through the 32 and onto the Tortoise. So that is interesting. This must be the gun the Tortoise uses, more or less. 32 pounder to a 20 pounder to a 120 millimeter. Well, that's interesting. 32 pounder AT gun, which must be different than the one before it. Now it looks like the same gun, so that must be unlocked when you get to the tortoise. Okay, so different guns thrown in there. What else we got over here? Badger we talked about. The heavy French heavy tanks we talked about. The tough Frenchman is still making me laugh. The new map for Grand Battles, I'll let you know when I see one of those maps and what it looks like. And the customization mechanics, which are kind of all over the place. So initially on those, I thought, just to wrap it up, I thought maybe, you know, I'm a little bit worried about clown tanks and stuff like that. Some of the colors are annoying. The fact that you can not see the most annoying ones is good, and none of them I think are as garish as I thought they would be, so I think it's a whole lot of ado about nothing. The pricing thing's a little bit goofy. The sorting is of course a complete disaster, because that's what Wargaming excels at, is bad sorting UI among other UI problems. And why it's only tier 10s and premium 8s, that makes no sense whatsoever. And last but not least, just if you had the FV and you went over to the Badger, there are some things you're going to have to deal with as far as figuring out your crews. This radio operator act being primarily the big part of it right there. All right, guys, that is it for me for Coffee Talk Supplemental. Just about out of my afternoon coffee, and it's time to go play some tanks. We'll see you later.